This is a Pyramid One International Network presentation. Hi, and welcome to A View of Humanity, and your host, Jamie Clark. Jamie discovered that he had the gift of psychic intuition and could also communicate messages and feelings between people living and those who have left this physical plane of existence. In other words, he can communicate with those who have loved and lost. Now, with thousands of powerful connections made worldwide and years of experience as his guide, Jamie offers this healing phenomenon to those who need it most. People searching for life, direction, guidance, as well as those seeking answers and closure from family and friends that have passed. Let me pass this on to you in his words, how Jamie's mediumship works. Triangulation of communication. Each of us is like a radio tuner, just like you're listening to right now. We have the ability to tune into many different channels. Before Jamie reads someone, he tunes into their loved one's channel and sends out an invitation of communication with you. Our souls are like fingerprints in a way that each of us is unique. Our loved ones know our soul print. And by my invitation, Jamie's invitation, and their realization, they now create a triangle of communication. Me or Jamie to them to you, and you to Jamie. They know that Jamie is on and are receptive and will sometimes come early to understand his rules and regulations and how most effectively to communicate. Now that we are all on the same channel, we work together as a team. A word from Jamie. Basically, everything has an energy signature. At a subatomic level, everything is vibrating at its own rate. He's developed the ability to understand the language of energy and interpret it for you. Life is a pure energy, and all is connected in some way. Your thoughts are what create your reality around you. By what you think about and how you perceive your reality, that is what you will attract in your life. Life doesn't happen to us. It happens because of us. Your host, may I introduce Mr. Jamie Clark. And there he is.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
Man, you know, earlier I'm freaking out because I thought we were back on the old time, 6 and 3. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. So it was only 4 o'clock our time. I'm like, God, phew. Good problem to have. I'm very, very honored to be of service to others. So it's a really great dynamic. And did we get a hold of John?
By the way, with all the time and that going back and forth, half of the planet doesn't know what it's doing. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Half the states don't have, they don't have time going back in the fall and forward in the spring. What's the matter with just letting time go? Got a problem with that? I'm serious.
Yeah, I know, huh? I think that's the crazy aspect of we're so used to that linear time, we don't realize that everything's happening right here, right now.
Yep.
As they're starting to get more into the scientific aspects of proving scientifically dimensions and frequencies and other universes. It moves beyond the, oh, that's the crazy stuff to, oh, the practicality of this. Now it's scientifically quantifiably validated. Okay, which is perfect. And it's for me, I'm having so much fun because this is not only what I do, but who I am, the essence of my being. And it's so much a part of me. This is, a lot of fun because I love to help people to help themselves. And, like I do, Bob, the more that I know, the more I know. I don't know nothing, man, but I'll share that perspective. And sometimes from that different perspective, you get a different vantage point going, you know what? I've heard that crap 1,000 times, but that's the first time I click with that. Okay, I'll try it. I'm like, please do. Let me know how it goes. And I love that because they empower themselves. To me, nobody needs to be fixed or saved. Just showing that power within, become more self-realized to begin to live life more and survive it. And not narcissism, but self-realization. Again, we can't give what we do not have. A lot of people are empty. Like, when's it over? Yeah, well, now we got to get more effective at living, not just existing, which is what's happening more for people. And interestingly enough, for all of these fires over in Australia, is like, God, that's crazy. But in addition, I also feel like there's a lot of course, physical, but symbolic energy of transmutation and purification from the old religions in France to that, amazing church that was burnt down, all of these beautiful areas of the open land of Australia that are being torched. And apparently other people are trying to assist with the firing up of this land. It's like, is that crazy or what? And any feedback, nothing in the way of understanding why these people are kind of acting that way? That just seems fascinating to me.
Seriously. And it's the same thing in that with people going around shooting each other. All this stuff that's going on right now, ban the guns, ban the guns, ban the guns. Why? All the people who have legal arms they're not going around shooting anybody. But the unlegal arms are in the hands of the people that are shooting other people. Either they stole them, they got a black market, they now have a way that they can, I don't know whether I should, well, I'll say it anyway. Too bad, it's probably out there anyway. You can buy every single piece of a gun on the net. So you buy two of these and two of them, and one spring over here, and one screw over there, and one stock over here, and you get it all home and everything else in that, and then you take a day off from work in that one day, and you put the whole thing together with directions.
God, oh yeah, that's good. I didn't think.
How can you get the directions? Well, you just get on YouTube and you say, well, what is it taking to put together this model gun? And you do it.
You know what? We would have been walking to the library looking through microfiche back then.
Yes.
now,
Yes.
now we got everything in the palm of our hands, man. That's crazy in a cool way.
To give you an example, and that I had to do some work. I have another computer net that I wanted to put some new RAM in, new brains in. And I wanted to make the thing so fast it was going to fall off the table without me touching it. So, so I get everything that I have to do, and then I find out that I have to take the entire computer apart to get to the part that I want to get.
Oh, do you know how to do that?
Yeah, they hid the nipper things underneath the board. Anyway, I get into the thing and I'm saying, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know how to do this. Now, look, I'm just a radio broadcaster. I don't take away or take apart computers. It's just not, I can fix them. I can make them work. I can unscrew them up. But taking them apart, I'm not a mechanic. Forget it. So I go on YouTube. Do you know I had it apart, fixed, back together again in 30 minutes?
Wow. And working, productive.
Yep. I did everything the guy said, and boom, right away, 1, 2, 3, it all worked.
That is really giving a lot of people empowerment, man, and you're just looking up.
Yeah. So if I could do this by getting into the tube, look at what these other idiots are doing. I mean, I'm serious.
Right. And it's there for everyone to choose. Exactly.
Yeah, and they look at their, how do I have how do I have a protest? Did you look it up? I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. There's got to be a billion pieces of information in there because now Google has YouTube. So since that is what it is, all the information from Google can also be in YouTube.
Yep.
Oops.
AI. Exactly.
So we're being taken over by AIs. And so, hey.
And again, as I do some remote viewing and stuff, a number of years down the road, that's going to be the major functioning aspect is AI, taking out the human emotion of decision making on a world scale. Watch, sound like a nut job till it's validated. Well, I guess we'll see. But not only that, there was a city.
So I'm logic. So for me, it wouldn't be that bad. But look at somebody who's not a logical person. You must deal with them all the time.
Well, sure, of course. Different perspectives. That's
Yeah.
great, man. Uniquely. Now
Mhm.
let's get some information so maybe they can change that a little bit and let's work together as a team.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
this very great computer and technology, the very thing that's bringing us together is separating us. They're not
Mm.
stupid. They know that. Hey, here we go. Bup, 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 bup. And then, right, if you take it out of your hands, now you're freaked out to go, oh, wait a minute. I'm only in my room, in a house, instead of worldwide, because that literally becomes like a drug. And that's why, at least in some contributing factors, a lot of us are hooked on the online. Not only just, for myself doing business and opportunities to stay connected, but literally it becomes like an energy vibe that you get high off of, or at least I did. I can only speak for myself. But man, that was fascinating. And all
Yep.
it is a mental connection to this circumstance.
Mhm.
Like I always say, we're all connected to the web, and
Yep.
that kind of what's known in one place is known in all at the same time. I think with those scientific studies of what we've been doing, validating and scientifically proving this stuff now is a little bit more like, okay, scientifically, photon balls of light, double slit experiment, vibrational frequency targeting, all of these things now are scientifically being validated. Energy, vibrations, light, frequencies, all that kind of stuff. But it's also nice because that technology is allowing people to not have to work too hard at the moment and think of all these ideas. They
Mm.
become dependent on that internet and just look up at the push of a button. And that simplified energy changes things.
Here's a question for you. Who really cares what science says about what works and how it works? We know that for hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of years, it worked. So what do you have to prove what works? It's like
And
if I put my key in my car and I turn the thing. Okay, I turn the ignition. The ignition does this, turns it on, puts a spark in the spark plugs, boom, the car goes and the motor goes on. Okay, so some scientist goes, oh well, it go with this thing here and this thing here, and they got a math problem that could go around this room once. Okay, so they,
right,
they got it and they say, look, see, we proved it. But I did. I went outside and I went, oop.
yeah. And here's the
It
thing, notice
works.
that commonsensical knowledge right here, right now, at this moment.
Yeah.
But us in the scientific community, just as a little bit of an aspect, would be like us going back to the Neanderthals, going, look at this vehicle. You just put this key in and you turn it on, and they're like, what? Are you like a god? You've got that? Holy moly. It becomes, the law of equivalence, no more and
Right.
no less. And that's why it's that acclamation on a mass conscious scale is to keep people decently at the same frequency, at the same vibe. That
Hmm.
way you build power in numbers and, all that kind of stuff without being too much of a nut job conspiracy theorist person. But I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, just what I'm aware of, what little bit I'm aware of, holy Moses, I will tell you a huge percent of this planet has no idea what's going on. And what little I'm aware of, great. I'm very thankful to be aware of what that is, though, because it allows myself to at least have a little bit of understanding in some of the orchestration of human consciousness
Well,
and those interactions.
I was going to say, when you say that, I was going to say it anyway, but you see, you must have read my mind. Do you know that 50% of the people that are in the United States net have no idea what's going on in politics?
And
They
how many
talk
want
about
to
it,
know?
but I'm saying, though, they will talk about it, and they will talk about who they don't like, or who they don't want, or who they want out, or whatever the system or that particular situation has to offer at that time. But on the other hand, what they're also doing is they're saying to themselves, I have no idea what I'm saying, but the guy over there said it, so I'm going to say it. And then the next guy says it, and the next guy says it. So actually, there's no real brain being used. It's
But
all,
a perpetuated pattern.
yeah,
Exactly.
bingo.
And you say
Exactly.
enough, you're like, is there something to this? Because I keep hearing it. And that's that reinforcement of the information for, humans in this way. You hear it enough, like in relationships or whatever the case is, they say it enough, you're like, God, maybe there's something to it. Because if I keep hearing it, that's my pattern of connection.
Here's
And
I got another one. Wait a minute, hold it. I mean, really, I'm gonna throw a lot of mud your way. There was a guy yesterday that said to me, because I was talking to somebody, I was talking to him about love, what love can do and everything else, and the field, the respective consciousness that we have within ourselves, that love emits energy to the other person. So the other person automatically catches that energy unconsciously and then takes that energy and uses it, but don't know they're using it until they turn around and say, gee, what did I just do? I just told the person I really, really liked them or something. So the guy turns around to me and he goes, well, what's the matter, Bob? He says, you're messing around. He says, you got a girlfriend or something like that? I said, no, you fool. I said, you got love all screwed up here. Love is a feeling. It is a way of life. It is what we should be all the time. I said, if we did, then hey, this whole world would be a different world. Just like this. Boom, done. So he says, oh, I thought it was, and he went on to tell me what it was. I said, no, 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 boy. And I went, wake up, boy. I'm tapping him on the wake up, boy.
but you can see the same information that you shared was taken in a different way. You know,
Completely. Three.
yeah, because once it leaves the other person's mouth, now you're processing it in your own reality and all the experiences and circumstances, perspectives that sometimes can go askew way beyond the meaning of what they were really meaning in that simplified, way. Like, God, that's crazy.
Yep.
But I think that that's another aspect. And Bob, you always know that I always say I have a lot of respect and appreciation for you. You're doing a great job, and you were making a difference for a lot of people just by being you. It's the different shows, the different
And stop being
subjects.
nice. I said, you're my man. Stop being nice.
And that's it,
Right?
because we've been together for so many years, and it's great to see
Yeah.
everything growing. And when we first started, I remember you talking about we were connected with you're going to build a library of information. And when people can have that just in the palm of their hands, that's empowerment. Just like you're sharing with the Google this, you come up with that. They can put different shows in on what you have archived and get any of those with any kind of information. That's beautiful. And I think that that's that simplified version. The technology has brought things so much faster. 10 seconds, I gotta wait 10 seconds. What the? And you're like, Lordy, just relax. Back, I remember dial up, 8 minutes later, yeah, it's still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of the growth of integration for the technology to go, oh, there's the phone. So we dial the phone, we connect with that, and then we got the web connection. Kind of like dial the soul phone, make the connection, and that soul print will come through. Because that's something that's very interesting. I've done the scientific studies with Gary and Rhonda Schwartz at the University of Arizona, and I'm also on a psychic mediumship team for the specialty of technology with what we're working with as the soul phone, the dimensional frequency resonator. But I was questioning the fact that, in this capacity, is that soul phone going to be, again, able to connect with our loved ones, but it's not going to be like we have one phone on the other side with an 800 million long cord like we used to have in a house going in. What do you want? Give me a minute. I'll call him. Hey, you, Nicola, Albert Einstein. And then she let me know, just like, we talk about the triangulation of communication.
Yep.
That's exactly right. They know the individualized soul print. So whoever's going to be the caller or the connection of that is already being vibed with their soul print of consciousness.
Mhm.
Not only that, like I can target other people on the other side to come before me when their specific loved ones come before me. I don't know anything about the people, but I will also tell you that your loved ones, ladies and gentlemen, make me look pretty good because all I'm doing is listening. They get the credit. I'm honored, but I'm humbled. And when you can get enough of that insight and, trusting is the big thing, then you can share a little bit more with that empowerment. Plus, when that scientific aspect is there, it adds a little bit more solidness. Like, well, if you can, like electricity, if you can scientifically calibrate and all that, there must be something to it. And you know what else? Albert Einstein, fairly recently, I heard about it, but that he had this person put away a bunch of letters that he said, don't open it for decades because, the human consciousness isn't necessarily ready. And as a scientist, it turns out that he also validated that love is an energy. It's an
Ah,
energy, not just it's a feeling, it's emotion, it's energy.
mhm.
I'm like, that makes sense. This is a scientist who had that kind of technology that could destroy things. And on the other end of the spectrum, it comes from love and scientifically validating both. That to me is pretty huge, because they're trained to be analytical, man. And don't you find it interesting with all these scientists? It's all about numbers. Isn't it weird?
Yep.
This is a holographic universe. That's why, for the soul phone, they've offered, and I'm not sure exactly where that's at the moment, but in February, in another month, in one day, because I think it's February 8th that they go over to your area of the woods, Florida area, and
Mm.
they're going to have their first presentation of the soul switch. That's that dimensional frequency resonator. It gets you connected to other dimensions. Then you get the keyboard for typing and texting from the other side. You get that kind of 90 to 100% accuracy. Then you get into the audio and then the visual. And once that's there, again, all of these beautiful religions are fine. There's only one way to God. You know what that way is? Your way.
Mhm.
We're all in a ball. This is our connection to the big guy, he, she, whatever you want to call it. Further away you think you're going, the closer you're really getting. That's why it doesn't matter. In the end, you're going to find you. You are the universe. The universe is you.
You just touched a real big one too, because when you talk about the religions, okay, isn't it kind of funny now? The Methodist people are falling out and they're making their own. They're gonna,
Really?
yeah, they're gonna divorce the mainstream of Methodists and they're gonna make their own because their own allows same-sex marriages, the all those organizations and everything else in that for transits and all these other kind of things, and the rest of them don't. So they're going to make their own. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to slow you down here for a second. All in this, okay? I mean, in my own beliefs. Now, don't forget, I was about that much from being a priest.
Yeah. Wow.
I,
Catholic?
yeah. I mean, I was that close. I almost went to
What
seminary.
changed? What changed? Why did you not do that?
Well, a Monsignor that was there. I was the first guy that did a guitar mass in New Jersey.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was a 10 o'clock high mass, and of course, like, the pompous.
That kind of high mass, or
I think, come on, religion. My mother was so religious, it was ridiculous. But anyway, but I love her anyway. Hear that, ma? Okay. But anyway, I'm sure she does.
she
But
does.
the thing was, when I did it, it was like, I did the singing and everything else. And then I was way in the back, way up at the top of the thing. And I mean, I got the resonation of the whole church. And
Oh,
you can hear what my voice sounds like now. Imagine when I'm like way up there in volume in a place that's totally empty, that just rings. And that when I mean, I had goosebumps. I sounded that good, but I'm serious.
that's
Like
believing in yourself.
halfway to, oh, not even halfway, maybe a third of the way through the mass, about half of the church walked out, and I made it to the newspaper because that many people just walked out because I was the first guy that was going to do it. So okay, all these people walked out of church. So the priest took me aside later on, and he said, "Look," he says, "You've been thinking about this thing, and that going into the cloth, et cetera, et cetera." He says, "No," he says, "that's not your path." He said, "You make more people happy and to themselves and realize themselves faster, more, and completely something," he said, "than anyone else or myself can do in any mass anywhere."
You
So
got him high enough, running out the door.
even though all those people moved out, right, took off, he
Yeah.
said, "The heck," he says, "watch, they'll be back." 2 months later, okay, 10 o'clock mass when I played, people were standing on the sides of the church. There wasn't enough chairs. And this
Wow.
was a big, big church. It was
Wow.
standing up. They came to that mass because it was the only, for about 4 or 5 months, it was the only guitar mass anywhere in New Jersey.
Look at
So
how you initiated that newness, man.
I was only, I think I was like 14 or 15.
Wow. That takes some guts.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't bother me. I mean, I'll play it to anybody. So,
Well, see, and you've got that mindset. For me, I was always very private. I would take a zero before presenting in front of the class. But you were born to do that. You know
but
what?
where I was driving with that, let me tell you where I was going with that. I did what I did, and I was in love with what I did, and I was in love with the people I was doing it for. I loved every single person that was there, even the ones that walked out. Now, you want to talk about energy. Energy is attractive, is something that attracts. Energy attracts. So if you have good energy will attract anything. Not just good. It'll attract bad. Because bad will be your questioner. That's going to be the person that's going to come in and say, "Who the hell do you think you are?" And I'll turn around and say, "Well, I'm me. I'm a guitar player. Don't you like it?" And the guy will turn around and say, "No, it stinks." I'll say, "Okay, great. What do you want to hear?" I'm serious. I did it a billion times. And
Wow.
people, all of a sudden, they were not the bad guys anymore. In fact, one of them actually became my best friend.
Wow. Just from being you and
Yeah.
stating.
Yeah.
See,
Just turn
that
around and, okay, you don't like what I do. Or what do you want? What do you want? I'll play anything. Go ahead. Tell me.
well, not only that, in a cosmic way, because I'm hearing that going, yeah, but that priest, he wasn't about, hey, he's a God fearing man. You need to talk about. He's like, hey, you don't need to do this. Go do your life, man. And you're like, holy Moses.
Uh-huh.
More than likely, had he not said that, would you have probably gone in that direction?
Well, no, because this particular guy, I respected a lot. He had been close to our family and things, and that my mother actually one of the part of the churches was dedicated to my father. So I mean, it was one of these things that I respected the religion, the church. I was an altar boy. I could speak Latin. I mean, I could do the whole mass in Latin. Nobody else
Just
could.
English.
You can really have a hard time there. So all of us do. But yeah, well, it's the most complicated language in the world is English.
Yeah, yes,
Believe
sir.
it or not. So, but with all these things that's as they were, the priest did give me. He didn't give me a path. He showed me a path. He said, "Here's your choice." And when he said, "Here's your choice," I had no idea what he meant until maybe a day or two later. When I went, "Oh, is that what he meant by that?" It was one of these things where, okay, I'll do it. So I figured, okay, if I fail at one, I can always fall back on what I wanted to do in the first place because maybe I made a mistake. Maybe he made a mistake. You never know. Well, I went on from there for 39 years. I played professionally. It was, and I made a lot of people happy, and I made a lot of people cry. I mean, some of the songs that I had, I'd look down and I'd see people crying, but they weren't bad tears. They were good tears. They weren't sad tears. They were because it hit every single one of the emotions inside their body.
Big
Every
thing.
single chakra got hit all at the same time. And it made me feel good because God damn was turning the key in the car. So I can't
And
do that.
that energy that you emit, and radiate, that's also what really speaks to people. And that personal magnetism, as you were saying, when you first meet that person, it's like, man, you got great energy, or I don't want to get to know you. They don't have to say a word, yet you'll feel their energy. Some have a nice clean positive energy, others are kind of like, how is it possible to have a dirty greasy energy? Now, besides that, I think you bring up an extra point, and that is with the human language. I refer to it as the Z particum because we're limited by our alphabet. But I
Mm-hmm.
do readings. I'm very honored to have clients around the world. So depending on who I'm connecting with, if I'm connecting with somebody in Japan and their loved ones are coming through, or Italy or wherever it is, and not all people speak English, So as their loved ones start coming through to me through the mediumship aspect, they start talking to me in their language. And I'm like, that's a beautiful language. However, I do not understand the meaning of those vibrational patterns on my ear knobs. Please make me feel the information through the language of my soul. Now, everything coming out their mouth energy wise is in English. I'm like, that's the universal communicator. Doesn't matter what language, through the soul essence of feeling, that's information. Feelings are, I feel like you're a good person, or it feels like the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Emotions are different. Emotions are happy and sad and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's that language of the soul through feelings, vibrational patterns on the soul knobs.
That is a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's just who I am. I've just done it my whole life. And it's first nature, the essence of our being, not second nature. And like you know that. You've got a passion. You freaking drive it home, man. This is not only what I do, but who I am. And if I can help even one person, I've done
Just
a great job. Right. You know who I'm going to help first? Duh, me. I'm not stupid.
well,
Again, I'm going to throw my crap on them.
we all start at zero first. So
Well,
ground
yeah.
ground zero. It's got to be satisfied and happy first. Then you more or less give away the happiness and the feelings.
Well, exactly. And that's a big thing. That also kind of brings up an aspect when people want someone's autograph. What they're really wanting is their vibrational pattern, their energy coming from them writing it. Now, every time I look at it, look at that. It vibes with Oprah or the president or, whoever it is. Excuse me. And it's a really cool energy because it's all energy. But then it becomes the value that we place upon things. Because to me, everything's spiritual. It's what value. And everything is relative. What's good for one may not be good for the other, and vice versa. And, I always say, Bob, life is relative because we right now are living on the other side of where we come from before here.
Or
Woo, right? We're extraterrestrials to everyone else. It's a very relative term. So it's that soul print address like an IP address. And that's why, I've seen that through my whole life is all these scientists have a bunch of numbers. And I'm like, how the frick are you getting number and information from these numbers, from
Mhm.
division and, all of that stuff going? I barely understand that. But again, with the holographic universe, it's all numbers and shapes kind of thing and colors and all that. But, I do a little bit of holographic healing and a few other things. But I always say, our physical body and energy is representative of the cosmos or the universe. Kind of like the universe, there's probably 0.1% of physical matter. The rest is open space. Kind of like our cellular structure. Like 99.99 is percent nothingness, and that 0.1% is the physical matter of who we are. Then get
It's
into
funny. I just heard that in Washington or from Washington, but
uh,
it was a little different. But it's really, really funny when you just said that, and it was like a picture that just flashed in my head.
So, it's those kinds of connections. And that's what I'm saying for you, Bob. You've got a pulse on humanity in a good way because you've got so many shows and different hosts with different subjects. That's a really well rounded aspect from not only government and politics, but to the spiritual and the ability to, understand yourself and many others that I believe you're still having people want to come on as a host if you even have the room for.
Oh, baby, yeah. But you know what? No matter whether it's politics, skulls, pyramids, you name it, it's all the same thing. It is
Yes.
all the exact same thing. Even the politics part of it, to make people understand what consciousness is, or awakening is, or love is, to teach people that, even if it's just talking to them, a shake of a hand, a hug, any of the above, except like the idiot with the funny and the legs, the hair on his legs, and the smelling the hair. I mean, but but I'm saying all of these things are all relative. Everything that we've done on the network has somewhere, somehow, some way, in any way you could think of, some connection to the source,
Yes.
to a certain spirituality that we actually have permission to give away, actually have the permission to invite someone to experience something they don't realize they already have. That's a very, very strange. You
But
do
it's
it every
those,
day.
yeah. And the great thing is it's, the below the surface of the human consciousness. So we just function from all these natural laws and stuff without realizing how we get with what we get. But sometimes when you do it all day long and you see the patterns and you work with the energy, you're able to give people a different perspective of that empowerment.
Mhm.
Because, again, I'm right there with you. Everything's God, it's all energy and all that good stuff. But in addition, it's all within.
Yes.
That kind of a holographic universe type of thing is what we as human beings, in this case, are representing. Because I believe we come from one cell, I think, and that cell is already complete, yet it multiplies 50 trillion times. I think that's a holographic scape, isn't it? Because what's known in one little point has the whole big picture in it, and the whole big picture has a little point. It's like, guess what? We've always been a near reflection. And
Hmm.
so, with the inner journey as an inner space astronaut, discovering who we really are, the universal oneness, the ocean of consciousness, and so much more beyond that. That's why everything's allowed. Don't you find it interesting that this beautiful religion is able to change their religious beliefs to go, well, they're not being condemned? Well, what about all these other beautiful religions? We're the way. We know the truth. Beautiful. Guess what? They're all the way. They're
Hmm.
all the truth. And they're all allowed to be. Because if there were judgment in any way on the universe's part, God would be judging itself. Eh, nope. It's all one. And that's why you're allowed to have nothing is we're all the droplets in the ocean. Oh, there's nothing here. And we are the ocean.
We have someone on the side that we can really talk about energy because there's a lot of energy going on where he's standing right now.
Yeah. Is he able to speak? See,
He's there. I can see he's on mute right now.
there you go. There you go,
Hey.
John.
Stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Hey.
Hi, Jamie. I got Kath. We're staying in Kathy.
Let me
Kathy's in Canberra.
yeah, let me say something here for a second. The person we're introducing, just so that everybody understands who's talking, that is the general director of Pyramid One Radio, World Radio Network, down south in Australia, who is at this time standing in the middle or surrounded by the fires in Australia. So our studio down there is, it's on a little sleep break for a while until all the fires and everything else are out. But John Allen is our guest and my best friend. So, John, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jamie, and what's it, Bob? We had to vacate where I was in Cooma, and so I've got the studio on a laptop fired up in the other room, but I haven't turned it on my travel computer, the one I take on planes. So I've got a good friend here, Kathy, like I've known from about 2004 or so, and she's been through a big fire about 17 years ago in Canberra, which decimated like quite a lot of the South Canberra city. But you won't believe it, the rest of Australia looks like that now. Like we got catastrophic bushfires on quite a lot of Victoria, the state of Victoria. And the worst one is the state we're both in. We're in sort of New South Wales, but Kathy is in what's called the Australian Capital Territories, which is a very little small state in the middle of New South Wales. And they're the ones that had sort of a really bad bushfire back in 2003. But now the rest of Australia is experiencing it. And it's been ongoing since September. And the whole of Australia is basically so dry and tender. And we have eucalyptus trees, which burn quite readily. They should never plant them, as a decorative sort of tree in Australia or say, I think it's even in America. Yeah, in California, bought a lot of eucalypts in, and when it gets too dry, they just they get the fires going up into the top of the eucalyptus tree, and it goes like, I don't know, really high in the sky. You can go like 20, 30 feet into the sky, and you've got these catastrophic firestorms coming through, and it generates its own weather patterns. It only has to have a slight wind blow, and then it generates its own weather patterns and gets cumulonimbulus clouds up to about 30,000 feet. Then it goes catastrophic then, and it can dump that ash cloud and all the smoke about 70k in front of itself come down and say in valleys, like we're in a valley back in Cooma, which is 100k south, 100 kilometres south of the capital in Canberra, and we get surrounded by bushfires. And it's at the moment, I was showing Bob, we're actually ringed by bushfires, and so we got out of Canberra on Sunday, Cooma, and came to see Kathy in Canberra. So, and that day we arrived, it was all smoked in like a really thick London smog from 1950s or 40s, and it's quite bad here too. But we had ash falling on the car. I had to wash the car down 5 times just to keep the windows cleared so we could get out of the city. But we got out when it was clear air.
Yeah,
and I saw the firefighters fighting the fire in the local cafeteria, and I just started to get out. And they were.
Yeah, John, just so everybody understands, in that when Jamie and I advised you to leave where you are, there was only one road totally open, only one, and it went straight north.
Yeah. Oh, Bob, I contacted Bob and said, like, I sent a message to Jamie and said, SOS, like, you have to know within 5 minutes. Is it safe to leave? Like, you don't want to go into an unsafe, like, you don't want to go on a road which could close instantaneously. And you get trapped. Trees will just fall across the road, and a firestorm will come through and it melts the car. You get vaporized, basically.
Yeah.
Hey, John, and I apologize because I don't look at my computer quite a bit. Do you have my personal number?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get it. I mean, you text your personal number. I've got your office number, I think, but I haven't got your.
You have my cell phone, my own personal, because.
Yeah, I need that one. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would have gotten instantly back to you if I would have received that.
Yeah, like,
yeah. And so Bob was also mentioning that there are people who seem to be taking actions into their own hands and lighting things up. Do you have any insight as to like what's going on, or why are they doing this? More than one person, apparently.
Yes, there's quite a few people doing it.
A lot, 200 and something, I think.
Yep. Holy. Yeah, but why? What the flag nog? That doesn't.
24 people were arrested today by the Australian people.
Sorry, that's since like October, November last year when the fires first started.
Wow. What you said, Jamie, was they actually started the fires back in September, October.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this wouldn't have been what it is if started it in the first place.
See, that's that's crazy. But it's getting people to come together real quick or separate depending on their circumstances. And John, I'm glad that you acted on that information because it could have been a whole different story for you.
I've got my wife flying out tomorrow, to New Zealand, back to my own home city, Christchurch, which got fairly well destroyed back in 2011, all the earthquakes in New Zealand. And she's going to stay with my sister Pamela.
Good. Cool.
And I'm just wondering, when can I get out? Because I've got no passport, man. I have to update my passport.
Well,
I'll try to get out ASAP. How many, 10 days? Or it takes a while to process.
I do feel like within 2 weeks, so 14 days or sooner, you could certainly do it sooner. I would love for you to, if you're able to go out really soon, today, tomorrow, whenever you can, that would be a much more productive energy. But if you have to wait, certainly wait. I just feel like, no, get it moving. You'll be able to get out of here a lot faster.
No, I'll do my electronic application, it goes through overnight, all online. But I have to get my password to get into it because I've left New Zealand and I've forgotten my password on the, the government department thing. That's the only problem.
Well, yeah, I'm like, wow, that's fascinating because if you can do it online, Lordy, you can just.
Online.
Yeah, I wish I could online.
I can do a paper application and just drive into Sydney and get it, done straight away.
Good. Yeah, the sooner the better. That would be great because you could certainly manifest leaving way before 2 weeks, but you've got kind of a vibe of completeness to go zip, and then I get like that or sooner, which tells me, getting the thing, you'll get it by that time or sooner. And if she can have you there, that would be even more comfortable. When you're having major shifts and your whole home could be changing, it's not easy, especially when you may not have been able to get all of the valuables out of there, emotional and, physical values.
And no going home unless the fire is out.
Yep. Yeah. I just find that fascinating why people are doing that. But also, like I was just saying, I feel like literally and symbolically, there is a lot of transmutation and purification on many different continents. It's not just one. That way it's kind of expanding and spreading out. But like the wildfire, literally that'll start to affect other people. Kind of like our thoughts ripple through and affect others, so can those thoughts of fear or hopefully empowerment and clarity and all of those. But the more powerful you get in the numbers, cities, state, countries, whatever the case is, the stronger that vibration gets. And not only that, I would be interested because kind of like they did with water and the hurricanes, they took bunches of people and started sending it in tent. And I believe in at least some cases, it did seem to make adjustments. It obliterated some of the other places because they didn't necessarily take that into consideration. But that mental, physical connection, and that's why I'm wondering about the fire aspect is I wonder if we could build up some kind of a vibrational mental pattern that in some way we could help ease or lower the flames, basically to create zilch.
Yeah, basically the TV broadcast is fueling the actual fires by putting like scary energy. Everyone's scared, so they're constantly waiting for something to happen and putting that much scary energy, being scared or fear. The fear energy is so strong. It's so powerful, that.
Well, yeah, and when you get into that fear mode, you're on the fear mode. You're functioning in dysfunction. And that's a lot of times where they like it because then you have no empowerment. You're waiting every moment, like, is somebody going to give me insight? What's going on? So now they've taken it out of your hands and you might feel alone or in your own thing and then waiting for this information to come to you. And again, it's interesting, but this shows a little bit of the oddball stuff, but I'm just going with it because it's nice if we can help others to maybe become aware of some of these dynamics that are going on that may not always be quite the way that they're being presented in one public aspect.
Basically, everyone's conscious, conscious thoughts, and not the subconscious thoughts, the conscious thoughts create all our reality in this reality. But it's like Jamie said, there's many levels of reality around us, and we're in a little sub-fraction, like, is it 1% or something like that? Physicality, reality, like I'm backing up Jamie, what he said, like I've got all these higher dimensionals, I've sort of switched up, like when you go, you get into a situation like this might be the situation that switches me up again to, higher states, and I'm getting all the channeling, we sort of started channeling again and everything like that, and I've got all the information.
Good.
They'll give me.
And so are you getting information? Are you getting
I'm getting information, but I just want confirmation there. That's why, how you get the 3 times confirmation?
Right.
And you sort of, if I get the instant thought, I just do it. Like instant, I'll just do it.
Blind faith, yep. I don't understand, but I'll do it. Yep.
Yep.
And the good thing is
first anyway, no matter what.
Well, and again, that aspect of uncertainty is what can help others thrive in a good way who are not the most productive, basically. But for that, and you doing the channeling, do you think that, like you said, might be opening you up even more because of the need to want to receive information? That your team might be getting even stronger with the signal impulses of what they're sharing with you? Because I know you're very well connected, John. You and I have talked. I'm like, dang, man, you got the awareness. And it's really cool because you're always very humble and very gracious about that. But that's why I was asking is with your connections, kind of like mine, I do the best I can, but are they giving you insight? Is there an ability to understand more effectively why this stuff is happening? But not only that they're getting you to connect with the right people in the right way to save your own life. To do that because you help a lot of other people, but you're also open to have other people give you some insight. Not weak or needy, but just as much as you help others, allowing the universe to help you, which is huge.
Yeah, once we get to New Zealand, my hometown, I'll probably, I need like a week off just to sort of settle down from all the stress and strain, because I've basically been going for a whole week with hardly any sleep, and you can't operate like that.
No, sir. And that kind of murky consciousness is what a lot of us will function from, like, I don't understand, but I'm not getting any sleep either. And then we just
the whole south coast and sort of, down the bottom of Australia is functioning like this at the moment.
Yeah, southeast.
Yeah, southeast Australia.
Man, that's scary. Well, I'm sending lots of positive.
Put it this way, this has never been seen in history before.
Hey, I got a question, and while they're talking over there, and that, Jamie, do you get any feeling on the people on that line? I mean, do you feel anything like? See, I'm a feeler. Like, ooh, they got a little feeler with your fingers.
Yeah.
I'm like the feeling kind of guy. Like when John was there, I said to him, when I got up that day, I smelled smoke. And then I'm sitting here, and I'm kind of sort of typing back and forth to him, and I felt heat.
Yeah, it's warmed up here.
That was the night at 44 degrees.
Yeah.
Down here in Florida. So I mean, this room was cool.
And had John not said anything to you, Bob? Had he not said anything, and you were picking it up on your own?
Yeah, I would have felt it anyway.
Look at that. Look at the vibrational pattern. That's physically nowhere around you on another continent. And yet you're picking up the vibrational pattern of what's going on. Heat and smoke. It wasn't necessarily wind or water or whatever the case is. Nope. But as connected as you are, and possibly because John lives there, he might have been impulsing you in his own way of what he's dealing with. And then you're waking up from a sleep state, go, whoa, what's the smoke smell? That's, everything's fine here? Okay. But that's my thing is that energy can reach anywhere. There is no limit. And it's always playing out right here, right now. I just find that really cool because that's how interconnected all of us are.
And
Bob and John have been telepathically connected quite strongly since about, 2009.
8, 7, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. And kind of like that is, not only friendships, but like relationships. When they've been together so long, they're finishing each other's sentences. They're on the same channel.
Yep.
That's exactly right. And the closer you are with a person, the clearer usually the channel becomes to receive that information. That's why I wanted to point that out to go, I didn't realize, you guys had that really amazing connection. But look at that amazing connection was so strong and effortless. You're waking up to the reaction of what he's dealing with. Like, whoa, what the? And so now, more than likely, you're accepting the fact that you can actually pick up information of circumstances without being aware of it and associating it a little bit with waking up with a clean slate out of the astral vibration into the physical. Like, that's weird. And you got validation that there's something to it. Because to me, what's the outcome to what I feel or what I'm seeing? Because if you're not getting anything, you could feel all you want, but whatever.
Jamie?
Yes, sir.
Jamie, is it possible to get some mediumship for Kathy right at the moment? You got enough time?
You know what? Give me a target. Who does she want to connect with?
My husband, Peter.
He's strong, man. Nice guy, but doesn't take crap. And he's got a dry sense of humor. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition, as he comes through, it does not have to be about him, but if it's not about him, he is acknowledging the person who did have a connection in this way. And as he steps through, I get a heaviness in the chest. Okay, when I get that a lot of times, that will mean either somebody passed from a heart attack, congestive heart failure, emphysema, pneumonia, or cancer. Okay, so if he didn't have any of those, certainly fine. But if not, he is acknowledged.
He did have heart problems, but he died from lung problems.
Okay,
Among
so
other things.
chest, yeah, because there's a lot of ways to graduate, but I'm like, well, he's making me feel that. Notice I'm saying feel, not think. That's because I never think.
I'm a feeler too.
Exactly. You've got to trust that, though, because, Kathy, you've got an even better grip on people's awareness than what you might think. And it's never judgment, you know that, but it is understanding and compassion. Now, your dad does 3, but are you one of 3 kids? Are there 2 others besides you? Or even if there's 10, 3 are similar, however many else are different. Are there any other siblings?
I have had 5 siblings. We often break them up into like the eldest 3 and the younger 3.
I'll say that that's decent because it's got to be a lock into that specific number. Otherwise, I'm like, nah, I'm going to stick to that. So if you understand that that's a pretty solid variation between the 5, but 3 are similar, 2 are different, I'll say yes, definitely. Now, do you know anyone by the name of Robert or Bob? Robert or Bob?
I have an Uncle Bob in spirit.
Okay, just needed to make sure because that just tells me to stick to the other information that I just gave you. Now, in addition, because your husband, I just feel like when he focuses, man. But in this, he's also going to pay you a visit. Okay, the difference is the clarity. A visit will be like, and he looked like it. We were talking about, I was there. And even if he couldn't whistle, for some reason, I need to talk about whistling.
Okay.
Did he ever whistle?
I don't recall him whistling.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I don't recall him whistling.
Perfect. Here's the thing. If there's no reference to whistling, I'm going to say, don't be surprised if you're out doing, whatever it is in a store or wherever. And all of a sudden you hear somebody just whistling, just a very light tune, and you turn and there will be for a split second a vibration that looks like your husband. You'd be like, that was what the? I've just learned that they're usually accurate. So again, he never whistled, so it'll even be more validating that more than likely you'll have this experience. And again, as easy as just being in the store looking at stuff, and they'll have that kind of a connection. And so if and when that happens, because more than likely it will, we did 2 things during this session, psychic and mediumship. Now, one other thing, I get a slice in your energy field. So it does not have to be a negative in any way. But when I get a slice, a lot of times that'll mean whether a family ship, friendship, relationship, or a workship, if in the past 3 months or sooner, you haven't had to put parameters around things like, you know what, here's where I am and here's where you are. Okay, we can agree to disagree. Or boom, you've cut something off. Okay, if not, if you understand that, great. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. I've done that over Christmas.
Okay, just know that comes from your hubby. He's looking at me like, I feel like he keeps people guessing. He's a good guy, but I just feel like he's also, even though he's good with people, I feel like he's very protective. Like he may not have a lot of close friends. I feel like there's a very selective couple of people. Make sense?
That's correct.
Okay,
correct.
Cool. So the great thing is, because as I always say, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to know anything about you prior to the reading. But because we had only a few minutes, that's the reason why I wanted to target his soul print to go, who do you want to connect with? And kind of like that, Kathy, as I was saying, and Bob and I were talking about the soul phone, that's how you can do it. There's infinity people, man. There's more than 8 billion because a lot of people have died in this place. But they'll be able to come through just by a mental impulse, instantly connected. Here to the other sides of the universe are we instantly through thought. And that's kind of my point is it's not like it's going to be in a house with the old corn, Jesus, that's weird. Is there something about...
No, I am a medium.
Okay, because I'm like, there's some oddball thing about a playfulness there. But in addition, with that soul print of consciousness, keep the connection. Keep the connection. The stronger it is, the more effective it becomes and the more nourishing and healing. And like I do, okay, you will take the rest of your life to heal from this. But also, that the biggest gift that we can give our loved ones is to connect with them like they're connecting with you, truly, but a thought away. That's the power. And I think you, like me, Kathy, know that by helping others, you're helping yourself too. That's a win-win, man. I'm not stupid.
Right.
Yeah, I need the healing just like I give. And if I can help people to help themselves, better place one person at a time. And I'm honored to even one. Does that help you some?
Sorry?
Does that help you some? Is that a decent validation for you?
Yeah. And am I safe to stay where I am through the fires?
Yeah, for
Around?
now. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you vibe where you're decently safe with that. So if you're surrounded in a way, I feel like either they're starting to get a grip on that area or they're starting to be able to neutralize some of the other areas.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
You got it. My pleasure.
Done.
And nice, guys. Stay safe. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie and Bob.
You got it, John.
Thank you.
Hey, John.
Yes.
All right, you're going back to you're going to the airport.
I'm going back to Christchurch, New Zealand.
Yeah,
But not straight away. I like Kathy. Yeah, she may go back to New Zealand too. For a bit of a break to get away from the smoke. And I might have to get out within the next 2 weeks. Like, if you think this is a safe zone for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I might have to. It's all to do with my passport. As soon as I get my passport, I'll get out.
Yep.
all right. I will talk to you then tomorrow, and let's see
Okay.
what's going on. All right.
Yep.
John, always good.
Safe.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Sure. Will. Thanks.
Thank you.
And just to tell everybody he is the director of South Australia's Pyramid One Radio Network studio. So, I mean, these people are right now, one of our students, not only the studio, but our director is in trouble. So I want everybody to send your love, say a prayer, say anything, send good intentions and that down to Australia because John Allen could use them now, not later, now. We're in the now. So never mind. Don't forget, it's tomorrow there. So,
Yeah. Almost 17 hours, right? Difference. Like, wow.
Exactly. So you're talking to the future.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? And they're talking to the past. How weird. Kind of like exactly like this reality is.
Yeah, they're up by like 12 hours.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing.
I think it's about 16 or 17 hours.
16 or 17 now?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we're sort of 11 a.m. in the morning, and I think you're, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
And Jamie's probably 4 p.m. or something.
Yes, sir, I was. Yep, now it's 5 and he's 7. God, that was weird because I thought we had flipped back to the 3 hours. I'm like, oh, Lordy, I'm missing it.
Oh, yeah.
It worked out.
Have you gone forward an hour or something?
Yes. Well, he didn't move. He didn't move. I went back.
And we're going to be coming out there, Bob.
Well, no,
in the woods. I'd love to get together with you. We can go just hang out for a little while, go do dinner, lunch, something like that with you guys. Or you and Ken. Yeah, man. I think that would be awesome.
When you get over here.
Heck yeah. We'll be there for a few days.
What's the temperature? What's the temperature there?
Here, I really don't know. It's probably around 70 something. It's beautiful.
That's what it's supposed to be here. that whatever it was, polar whatever, came down. And I'm serious. I went out like I always do at 3 o'clock in the morning over with the dog. And the dog looked at me and said, "You're kidding." It was freezing. I mean, it was like 39 degrees.
I can't do the cold anymore, man. I've been out here in Phoenix so long, 52 years, almost my whole life, man, to go anything below 40 degrees.
Yeah, well, you're not at all far. I am. So, I mean, hey, it gets me worse. But anyway, what'd you say about what you're going to be out here?
Yes, I'll be out there at the Helping Parents Heal, their second annual gathering. They were out here this past year for Phoenix, Arizona, and now they're going over back there to Carolina. I believe it might be South Carolina. So we're just a little ways down the road from you guys. And it's really cool because so it's a few miles down the road. Right. Well, you used to live in South Carolina, didn't you?
Charleston.
Yeah, South Carolina. Oh my God, I thought so. So either way, let's see if we can hook up. I think that would be a lot of fun. And to physically get to hang out because we're always connecting on the internet, but I'd rather see you physically too.
Yeah, from where I was, that's like 500 miles.
Damn, that's a travel. Okay.
That's like a little more than around the block. I think it's a little bit more than that, but Still.
That's probably about 10 hours, man.
And
That's
I mean,
like
you're north. You're going to be north. I think I'm just taking this out of what I'm feeling. You're north of Charleston, northwest of Charleston.
I bet you're probably going to be right.
And
Awesome.
you're somewhere there. So you figure almost 600 miles.
Wow. God, that's huge. Okay. Well, we'll try. Either way, I'll be calling you on Skype.
I'll mail you. Yeah. Call me from the place then. No big deal. Or hook up your laptop, right? When you're doing the thing. Just turn it on, put it on Skype, turn it around, and I'll record it here. You can see me, and they can see me there, and they can see you here.
That would be awesome. Let's see if we can work that in. I think that would be great.
We've done it before.
We're growing big time. More opportunity. It's all about the love.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be always good, sir.
We are going to be some good stuff. Have some good music. Oh yeah, this is good stuff. What's your address? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, call me at 623-986-6789. And you've got the ability to reach me at inside at jamieclark.net or check out my website, jamieclark.net. Also, we're doing pretty good, not only with this great show, but we've got our own podcast that we just got rated as one of the top 20 new podcasts. So I'm very happy to be able to do that. So it's pulling for both of us, Bob. Man, I'm loving this because it's helping us there and as we connect more through other opportunities like we're going to be doing, which I'm looking forward to once my other friend gets their information ready. I'll be doing public presentations over there. So let's get the Skypeage, man. We're on.
Very, very nice. Let me see. Jamie wants your cell phone and stuff. Anybody?
John, yeah, I'll give it to you off air, brother.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Thank you. Yep. Good. Thank you.
I got it. Anyway, for now, Jamie Clark, the man, the guy, the man you have to talk to. If you want to get in touch with Jamie and you can't get in touch with him by calling, or should I say getting online and going, jamieclark.net. If you can't get him that way, okay. Bob Charles Show at live.com. I will take any message from anyone, anywhere in the world, and send it right to Jamie and have them get in touch with you ASAP.
And he is amazing at it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Thank you for being here and that with the show tonight. Pyramid 1.